Today I've created a short little video to give you some guidance for those that may suffer some knee pain and ways that we can help to relieve that for you. So first off, I'd like to start off with some stretching of the thigh. Now depending on the pain that you might be feeling through the knee, it's not always achievable to be able to go in and just do a stretch of the thigh. So what I have here is this nice little device here, and it has a little cylinder through the middle that rolls and turns. The ends are fixed, and what you do here is pop yourself up onto either a chair. I'm going to bring it a little closer in just so you can see that, and you can hold on to the handles and just press down with a pressure that works for you. And this is a great way to give yourself a little bit of a self-massage through the thigh to loosen up tight, stiff muscles, which can be quite often the reason why it is that you're getting your knee pain. So you can play with something like that. It's also great to get into the shin area on the arm as well. So that's one of the ways that you can get into your thighs. The other way that you can get into it is with the roller itself. So the roller requires that you do have a little bit of upper body strength to be able to support yourself. And the way we do this is to kind of plank over the top, hence why you need a little bit of upper body strength. So if you can get into this position, noticing I'm on my knees, take care. We're going to bring ourselves down onto our forearms. And then from here, we just find the belly of the muscle here and gently bring it forward and back. You don't really want to go on the bony bit of the knee, but I'd encourage you to go just above there and massage through there. And add a little twist of the hips. Now you can't quite see this well on this side, so I'm going to change side. But notice as I twist the other hip, it kind of just gets into the sides of the knee, which quite often get overworked. Okay, so more the sides of the thigh, should I say, rather than the knee. Okay, for a lot of people this can be quite intense, so I'll tend to sort of do a little bit on one side, go back to the other side and alternate as well. So that's another great way you can give your thigh muscles some good relief and target more specific areas that might be tight for you. The last way that I'm going to show you to stretch your quad, if you don't have any pain with this, it's a great way to stretch the thigh muscle. And all we do is rub behind. I want you to stand really tall, and for some people that might be quite a strong stretch that you're going to feel through the belly. Okay, you can increase the stretch by squeezing your bum. So I'm squeezing my glutes and I'm pulling a little higher up here to increase the stretch that I feel through the front of the thigh. And I would recommend that you would hold this for up to a minute on each side. So we're going to hold for a little bit longer here and give it some time. Squeezing that butt, pulling that leg up, and enjoying the thigh stretch. Breathe deeply through the stretch and try to soften where it is. Feel that tightness, and I can already feel mine starting to ease. My thigh is thanking me for it. And let's change sides. Grabbing behind, stand tall, and feel that stretch through the thigh. Breathe. And I like to always, like I said, give my stretches about 45 seconds to a minute to really make sure we get the benefits of the stretch. Give it a little more. And go for about another 10 seconds. Wonderful. Slowly ease out of that. Okay, so a very common way to to start to build up some of the strength through the quads is to do what we call a knee extension. The knee extension can start with you sitting in the chair, and I want you to feel really sort of like you're sitting on your sit bones. Pelvis is nicely in position here, and from here we're going to extend the leg out until we feel a tension in the thigh to hold the leg up. So you feel that gentle tension there, and you want to be holding for about 10 seconds or so here. I'm really starting to feel that quad muscle there. You could, as you progress with this, add an ankle weight or some resistance of the band. Let's do the other side. So when you add the resistance of the band, we're going to have the band, you tie it to the foot of your chair, and you can pop it around your ankle, and that can also give you some resistance there as well. Alright, and lower down. So you might want to do about anywhere maybe between 8 to 10 repetitions on each leg, holding there roughly for 10 seconds. Another very subtle way to get some quad activation is to remain seated on a chair, and I like this because it gives you a little bit of the core activation as well. Place your hands onto each of the thighs, and I'd like for you to press your hands down into the thigh as you lift the feet up, and you're going to feel quite strongly the tummy muscles switching on. A bit of your arm muscles working to hold that resistance, and then come back down, have a little rest, and then go again, pressing the thighs into the hands into the thighs, both resisting each other, and then come back down. We're going to go 3 more. Breathe. Keeping that nice upright posture, and always just make sure when you look at your knees that they're pointing straight ahead, they're not out wide or pointing in towards each other. And rest. We'll go 1 more here. Pressing. And then relax. Some of the work that you want to actually do when it comes to knee pain is also target your glute and your hip muscles through there. A great easy way to get started is to grab a booty band or a loop band. You could even tie a loose band into a circle and place it through your feet around the top of the thigh area here, and bring your feet together. Again, sit up tall in good posture. Have a gentle core connection here, and we're going to press out into the bands, into the side there, and then come back in. I'd like you to visualise that as you're pressing the knees out, that your glutes are coming in towards each other behind you, and then back down again. And again, pressing out, and in. Keeping that lovely posture. And with an exercise like this, I'd probably recommend 3 sets of 10 to 12. And you could intensify the move by only coming in halfway here now and pressing back out. And then half in, sort of like a very controlled pulsing move, so just a little out, a little in, a little out, and a little in. I can really start to feel those glutes firing up from underneath. So it's another great way that you can also assist with knee pain. Let's take the band off, and we're going to take it to the floor. So we're going to sit up again, nice and tall onto the bony bits of your bottom. If you do struggle to sit like this, you could lean back a little, or you can place a cushion under the glutes if you're feeling a bit stiff through the back as well. Now you're not going to see a lot in this on the screen, but what I want you to see is that you look at this thigh area here and the knee joint. All I'm going to do is press the back of my knee in towards the mat, and straight away that quad muscle fires up, and you're going to hold that there for 10 seconds. Don't push so hard though that the knee presses really, like it really retracts in there, and if it's painful, you definitely don't want to do that. So this is a great entry level where you just squeeze the quad muscle. You can add a little bit of the toes curling up, and that will also give you a little bit more activation of the quad muscle. And just hold it there, and then I'm going to relax the foot down. Change legs, so starting to push the back of the knee into the mat, adding a little flexing of the foot, and you would hold that there for 10 seconds as well. Alright, so I'm going to progress with the next part of the move, and you could use a roll up towel. I'm using a roller here, so you could thickly roll up 1 or 2 towels and rest the back of your knees on the roller. It's the very same move. Extend the leg out like we did on the chair. Check out the kneecap, make sure it is straight, and then add a curl into the toes if you want to. Okay, and hold that for 10 seconds there, and then release. And we'll try the other side. And again, I would aim for maybe 10 on each leg. As you progress with this movement, you could add an ankle weight as well. Alright, lovely. I'm going to take this roller away. I'm going to kind of get away from the quads for a moment, and we're going to get back into our hips and our glute area. So I'll get you to lie onto your side, and just find, either use a pillow under your head, lie your head on the arm if you can, and when you're lying on your side, just notice here, you want to have a little bit of space here. You don't want to sink the hips and sort of keep everything relaxed. Keep it nice and open here underneath. Look down at your feet. You should just see your toes. And I'd like for you to bring this top hand to lightly hold onto the mat. From here, we're going to stretch this top thigh to lengthen longer than the bottom thigh, leg, should I say, up. And keep the hip nice and steady here, and then come back down. If you struggle with balance, bend the bottom knee, and then again, stretch out, and back down. And with something like this, I would probably do maybe 2 to 3 sets between the 10 and 15 repetition range. So build up your reps as your strength increases. And then from there, rest the hand down again, both legs nice and straight. It's going to take a little bit of tummy activation here, a little bit of our obliques working here, but use your hand. And I'd like for you to bring one leg up here, and then bring the other leg up to match, and then come back down. And again, one leg up, bring the other leg up to match, and come back. Good. You could progress to bringing both legs up at the one time with a little separation at the top. So that's another variation. Double legs up and separate. Good. And even just lying in that position, the quads tense being in that sideline position. I'm going to add the band now, but you can do all of these things without the band. You can add the band in this sideline position. You'll press the bottom foot into the mat as you press into the band at the top here, and you feel that glute connection, and then back down. So that's another way you can add a little more resistance and get into that glute area. Popping the band up a little higher over the knees, This is something you can do with or without the band as well. So I would always suggest starting without the band first and then progressing to adding the band for resistance. When you align on your side, straighten yourself, center yourself with your mat and just sort of pull the ribs in a little bit, stop them from flaring out. Have your heels together and not too far forward of the mat or too far behind, just nicely centered there. And we're going to try and keep this hip nice and still here as we start to raise this top knee up and then back down. Notice where my hand is. I'm actually trying not to move the hip. A very common mistake is as the knee goes up, the hip will roll back to the wall behind you. So try not to do that. And the good tip to do that is just to have that sense of just a gentle resistance, a push forward of the hip as the leg comes up. Keep your heels together and back down. And you can squeeze the heels together to add a little bit more glute activation. Another thing that's great to do is have knees bent at a right angle or within your comfort range. Again, make sure you are not relaxing underneath here. And we simply raise the right ankle up to hip height and back down, again with or without the band. You add in a resistance band as you build up your strength, and that will provide you with the challenge. Whew, and I can feel that already. Alright, good. So again, 2 to 3 sets, 12 to 15 repetitions maybe. With the clans where you're opening and closing, you could definitely increase your reps between 20 to 30 repetitions. But I'm now going to lie on the floor. And we'll just have one leg out straight and the other bent. I'm going to swap that over and find a comfortable position there. Find a gentle core connection here as you lie down under the ribs through the lower abdominals. And just curl the toes up, flex the foot. Straight away that activates a little bit of the thigh muscle. From here, we bring the leg up a couple inches off the ground and you can hold this position for a few seconds. And then you could lower the leg back down if that was enough, or you could then go another 2 inches and hold mid-range here. So again, I can feel that thigh working, holding that. And then I can go just one more level to match the other thigh and hold that here for a few seconds. You could then lower straight down or reverse in segments and come down, holding, and a little lower again, holding, and then fully back down as well. Okay, so the next one we're going to do requires you to come onto your tummy. So comfortably find a position here, and once you know what you're doing, your head could be down here like so. Alright, so from here, again, a couple of things to think about. If you cramp through your feet, put a cushion under the ankles so that the feet are not tense. Step 1, I'd like you just to gently push your pubic bone into the mat and peel the tummy off the floor. Feel it shrink away from the mat. We're going to take one foot up just to lift a little. And when you just lift that a little bit, you're going to feel the back of the thigh kick in. And then if you add a little more, I want you to try to get that glute on and hold. And then come back down. Let's try the other leg. So pubic bone, drawing the tummy off the mat. Lift a little to find the back of the thigh if you can first. And add a little more height to find the glute. And when you're doing this move, you try not to twist through your hips. Try to keep your pelvis as still as you can. Good. You could progress to a bent knee, but it depends on the knee pain, and I would not tuck any more than that. I would bring it up at a 90-degree angle. Again, pushing your pubic bone in, engage the core and lift the heel up until you find that glute, and then come back down. Good. And then the other one. Core on as you lift that heel up and keep those hips nice and level. Good. As you progress through the moves, there is one more move that you can do. It does require a little bit of focus and concentration. And what we're going to do is tie a band to a stable surface. So whether it be a heavy table, something that's not going to move. And I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I have the band here. And I have tied a knot in there so it creates a loop here that we're going to put onto our foot. You will come down onto your abdomen and we're going to bring the band nice and level, nice and parallel against the supporting structure. So I'm just going to make an adjustment there. Okay, so I'm going to bring my head down a little just so that you can see. So we have our knee in a right angle. And I'm going to press that pubic bone into the mat and activate my tummy muscles here. And from here, without moving the knee too much, I'm going to bring that ankle across my midline and then bring it back in. Try not to let the pelvis move. And where you are going to feel this is in through the glute area here as well. So I'll just put my head down so you can see. One more. Good. So, depending on the band's strength, I would not go too heavy a band. I would definitely, this is like a mid-range sort of band that you could use, and that's another great way to get into the hip and the glute area. Obviously be guided by your pain with what you feel. Make sure that you are stretching the thighs, but also working through the glute area here in what we call the external rotation, through things like those clams we did before, through what we call abduction, where we just lift the leg up and down as well. So getting that good structure around the hips has definitely shown to be beneficial when it comes to knee pain as well. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions, and I hope you enjoyed today's